Let's go. Welcome, Hobby News Daily, April 23rd. Got some great content for you tonight. Sunday night. Hope you're all doing well. What a weekend in basketball playoffs. Good baseball games. Hockey playoffs have been going pretty well too if you're following that. We're not going to talk sports on this channel. We're talking about hobby, news, and content. That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. Got some good stories. I share some new content to make some new content subscribers, stuff I didn't know about. This is an educational session. We're also going to go over some of the rumors, news that Sports Card Radio dropped today. Did Leaf get bought by Fanatics? Huh. Well, we'll talk about that too. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the new channel, Hobby News Daily. Thank you for being here, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Do the old screen share. Let's start. Bam. Best content I heard this weekend. Reckless Cards does their hobby night. And I'll be honest, this was a really interesting listen. This is Hobby News or Hobby Night School with Cindy Dick. And I'll be honest, I was like, who's Cindy Dick? Who is Giants Legends? No idea. Here's the highlights because I don't want to give it all away. This woman collects vintage women's cards. I didn't even know that category existed. I feel like a stupid, ignorant, man, I guess. Because again, how naive of me. Some of the history she talked about. For example, she talked about cards that women weren't allowed to smoke. So you wouldn't see like the first card that had a woman smoking in it. I mean, like just stuff that blows your mind. Historical stuff. Really interesting. Also, a cool thing. Cindy apparently was in the Virginia area when I think she started doing some of her collecting. I believe she was in the James Madison area or James Madison School area. I don't want to quote that, but I think she said Harrisonburg. But really enjoyed the conversation. Hope you guys check her out. And I do want to spend a minute on this because, again, guys, I don't think anybody knows about her and her collection. Go to Reckless's page. They have a link to her collection. She's on Instagram. Again, if you're a real collector, and definitely if you're doing vintage, man, this is just an amazing find, in my opinion. I was super excited by this. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. Next, really, really cool conversation. Let me just say, both these, I really enjoyed these interviews, these collaborations. You get to learn so much about people. Javid here from Sports Card once again, and Victor from Rookie Card Specialist. Big fan of both channels, by the way. Learned so much. The topic was about the Japanese sports card market. And again, learned so much. Javid, who I've been following his channel probably over a year, recently relocated from China after he'd been there about 15 years. And he's now here in the United States. And he's talking about his family and sports cards, the sports card business, what he's been doing, content creation, his research. In fact, they talked about card history. He does a lot of great card history videos on his channel, similar to what I was thinking about the whole Cindy Dick thing. And sadly, he even says, and Victor, backs it up, is that the well-researched stuff often does not get the views that it should get. It sometimes gets those evergreen views later on. People come back later on and say, wow, this is really good. But when it's dropped, they miss that really good historical stuff. Again, big fan of both. It's just worth listening to. Another really good nugget from this conversation was Javid's discussion of how popular NBA or I guess basketball cards are in China. And I agree with him on this. I think he said the second largest market in the world for basketball cards is China. It's not Canada. It's not Europe. It's not all of Europe, right? It's not Russia. It's China. And because of what was going on since COVID, we have not had that Chinese involvement in the market that we used to have. It's still there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as rampant, as ravenous as it used to be. And that's why I think basketball cards have dropped off a lot in their market. Will they recover? I think a lot of it will have to do with China and China's interest in the NBA. Great insight in other sports in China as well. Really love the conversation. Okay, let's get to some of the nitty-gritty drama. Sports Card Radio dropped some cool news. First of all, they talked about a scammer who's going around scamming stores in Florida. Definitely check out the video if you haven't on that. They also discussed these scammers on the Bleacher Breaks or something like that. And my first thought when I heard that can't be the same guys that are involved in Bleacher in New York City, right? That can't be the same Bleacher, right? But how, there's so many Mojo. I know of one Mojo, but there's a couple Mojos. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the breaker crap in a minute. What I want to talk about Sports Card Radio here is they said in their video that Leaf was acquired by Fanatics. This blows my mind. Why the hell would you buy Leaf? And I have not yet seen anybody else drop this video. No one else has come with an update. There's been no scoop over Sports Card. Let's go check over here and see there's been an update over here. Was there an update here? Like, you think this is big news. Why would Fanatics buy? And again, Sports Card Radio guys, I don't want to poke at you. I don't want to put honey on the bear. We're going to attract the bear. But, dude, you guys said Panini was going to bought, and you were wrong about that. So why should I believe you're right about this one, too, and Leaf being bought by Fanatics? It just doesn't make sense to me. You tell me, why would they do that? I love the Sports Card Radio guys. I got a video coming for you guys. I got a video. Big fan. Woohoo! Sports Card Radio heads. Here is a great update. So Dan the Man dropped a great update on this card scam that happened. I'm going to give you the short story. Breaker pulls a big card. Says they shipped the card. Card never got to the winner of the card. Card resurfaces later on in the breaker's name, again, Bleachers the name, in a repack product, which they claim as somebody else received the product by accident, sold the product, graded it, and sold it, and that's how I got in the repack product. Now, very, very peculiar. Very peculiar. Because a one-on-one like that, you think would be something. Now, I'll just go back and say this too. I've said this for a long time, guys. We really need tracking. Like, there should be tracking of these big hits. A place where you can list, here are my stolen cards. Here are the seal numbers on them. If you see this, please contact me. There should be a way to do that. I don't know why there isn't. Like, that way, if I'm a dealer, I'd go to that website and go, hey, is this card on that website? Like, right now, we have the scammers page here and Joe's shop here. And over there, we have something else. We don't have a real centralized repository of trusted information. Anyway, great video here by Extreme Card Breaks because he breaks down exactly what happened. And he even goes into some scenarios, which he does say, there are times when people will accidentally get the wrong stuff. Like, maybe the card really was shipped to the wrong place. What I will say to that is that, look, in my opinion, we need to be a little bit, I don't know, we need to call the herd on the breaking community. There's just too many goddamn breakers, which is one of the points that Sports Card Radio makes. There's just too many goddamn breakers. There's like 5 or 10, maybe 15 to 20 breakers that you should go with, but not 100. And at the same time, everybody can break. And I'll be honest, everybody should have the right to break. Like, as a libertarian in me, I'm like, I don't think you should have to have a license to fucking open cards and sell them to your friends. But at the same time, God damn it, people. Why the hell can't we get shit right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in some comments. You guys got comments, drop that on that. Because I think the breaking thing, in fact, I'll tell you, I have reached out to several friends in the breaking community and said, I do think we need to have a conversation about this. One suggestion I have, and I don't try to give this away to anybody, or I will say I've had tried to give this away to everybody. We need a breaking regulator. And it does need government. Like a organization, the Chamber of Commerce is not really run by the U.S. government, by the way. That's just a bunch of businesses that put together the Chamber of Commerce. Did you know that? So we need like a chamber of breakers where, like, I don't know, members of the community, members of the manufacturer, I don't know, you pick people, whatever, you get voted in, they come together and create a board that gives some guidance, some standards. They validate, they audit, and then certain breakers have a seal of approval. Like, this is, Better Business or Chambers of Commerce breaker, and everybody else is black market. You're a black market breaker. If you're breaking in a kitchen, that's fine. But I, as a consumer, would know, hey, it's a kitchen breaker. He's, it's like buying moonshine. I know it's moonshine if it's coming in the jar and it doesn't have a label on the back telling me it's been taxed by the state. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, breaking, we got to self-regulate that shit. Okay, really another just freaking great conversation, dude. I really dig these guys, man. If you want to enjoy the hobby, you're here to collect, check this video out tonight. Theo, John, Orlando, John, Matt, and his son there. This was just freaking great, dude. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been listening to a lot of different content. I tuned in and out. I was running this in the background. I had some games on and stuff, but this was a really, really good conversation. And I'm a big fan of all these guys, man. I really am. Oh, give me 1 second here. I gotta pause for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and play some music here. Sorry about that, guys. Just step away for a second. Okay, so in closing, I'm going to wrap this up here. Great conversation. Really recommend checking this out. The other things I want to talk about as far as stuff coming up this week, Bowman Baseball is the big break of the week. And I thought if I had this up here, I'd show this. They had this little thing that shows you Leighton. Leighton's doing that break, I think on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, with SGC. Oh, this reminds me of a funny story I'll talk about in a second. This is big news. Bowman and getting this, I'm not endorsing SGC. They're just a bunch of wizards. Use magic to grade cards to give you your opinion. This I thought was interesting. Look at this. Leighton, $199 a month. Loyalty badges. Member chat only. Exclusive Discord access. It makes me think, is things going bad, Leighton, or are things going that good? Anyway, and as far as products, we'll talk about tomorrow about what products are coming out, but this Bowman thing is a pretty big deal. I will say again, Sunday night is always PWCC night. We'll see if this is the last. No, I think there's one more week for if he's really leaving. We'll see. And again, I tune in and listen to some of these guys. I will tell you what, the traffic is down. Look at 84 watching, 29 watching. Not as many people watching their content as it used to be. I know what to say. Retro made a comment. I think I talked about this about. I want him to tune in to the break at Leighton so he can see what live grading is. Instead of dead grading, live grading. But anyway, I digress. Okay. The first rule of Fanatics Acquisition Club is you do not talk about Fanatics Acquisition Club. I don't think they're doing it. Why would they buy Leaf? I mean, really, they want Centuries, Pop Century? And if they buy Leaf, let me say this. If they buy Leaf, this just tells you that Luber went out in a flame. Like, they were so pissed and like, dude, Zero Cool? This is a terrible name. The product's a terrible product. The whole division is gone because that's basically what they bought. They would be paying Leaf for. Leaf is basically Zero Cool because isn't that what Zero Cool was? Like, weren't they the Pop Century freaking card? And then let me ask you this something too. If that's the case, what does that mean about those Gary V cards? Are those Gary V cards absolutely worthless now, or are they worth anything? Like, do people really want the Gary V card? You know, let me put my camera on here. Bam! Here I am. Woo! Why don't they put, there we go. Okay. So, and what I was just saying, does that hurt the Gary V card and the Jackass card? Does that mean there's no others? Will there be? What's that product? Stranger Things. Will they do Stranger Things cards now? I'm just saying, if they bought Leaf, why would they need Zero Cool? Hey, why the hell am I thinking about this? Who knows? And poor Panini. I will tell you this, guys. I don't think they're going to buy Panini. But I feel for Panini. I got no friends left at Panini anymore. I'll put it that way. All my friends are gone. I had friends at Panini. They're all gone. I knew the guy over there running the NFT program. He's gone. I knew one of the guys who's running the basketball program. He's gone. I had another friend at Panini. He's gone. Everybody I knew at Panini, they're gone. On the other hand, Leaf can now make licensed cards, can't they? Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you, like, remember we were making fun of Brian Leaf? Right, Brian Leaf. Brian Gray a few months ago when he did the Superman cards and he's doing the autograph. How valuable those cards right now? Those autos are probably going up to the roof, man. He's like executive from Topps. Look at me, a Superman. I just Superman my way right into the freaking top. Amazing, isn't it? Again, until I see it reported, anybody seen any other news about that? Like, has it been officially, like, as Leaf's website, and forgive me, or Topps website have anything? Because I have not seen anything on it. I have not. So many issues with whatnot. The breaker stealing cards. Oh, break. Yeah, I said, let's just go ahead and say it as it is. What the hell is so good about Whatnot as a platform? Like, I don't understand the whole value of a micro auction. That's really what Whatnot was. It was a micro auction. The giving a gift away, the giveaways, that's kind of cool, right? That's like the bait that hooks you in there. But I never was a fan of the instant, like, here's the thing. As an old wise man once told me, some things in life are better with a little bit of patience, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a buyer or seller in an auction, why are you trying to do it in 30 fucking seconds? How many people in 30 seconds are like, yeah, man, I'm super excited about how that auction ended? Like, isn't somebody at the end of that auction going, huh? Like either the guy who didn't get his bid in, or the guy overbid, or the seller got less than he wanted. In my opinion, in those micro auctions, there's always one guy sitting there going, huh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I've never been a fan of it. I remember seeing the guy from Whatnot on Jeremy Lee's account, and I remember thinking to myself, like, what is the fucking IP he's got here? Like, what is it, his intellectual property that he's making his company's evaluation of billions of dollars? I don't get it. Now, here's what I will say, guys. There are a lot of selling platforms, in the world. That ISO commerce thing, I mean, that's a selling platform. I'm checking my messages here. Everything looks fine there. I'm not a fan of Whatnot. I'd like to see Whatnot go under. And Whatnot is not good for breaking. I'm a huge fan of breaking. In fact, let me just tell you something about breaking. Breaking needs YouTube. To me, YouTube is the best platform for breaking. And the reason for that is the rewind capability. I used to watch and do breaks in Facebook, and even that pissed me off because you couldn't rewind it, right? So most of the Facebook breakers would use YouTube as a backup, and you need a repository, a library. In my opinion, you need some type of archiving of breaks for a certain period of agreed upon time. And YouTube's the best platform for that. Twitch, maybe, and Breaker TV used to do that, but you can't do that on Whatnot. IG's not a good platform for it. Twitter's not a good platform for it. You shouldn't be breaking in those platforms. I don't understand why people got there. And as I said, and one of the ideas I have, I do think there's an opportunity for a breaking consortium, like a group to come, like a chamber of commerce, chamber of breakers to come together and self-manage. You could advertise, you could provide, great pricing, you could provide membership to people, availability. You could stream it, extreme breaks. You could really solidify, and you don't, and I'll just say this real quickly, you don't want this to be done by Fanatics. Don't let Fanatics make a breaker channel, and if they manage the shit, screw that, dude. A breaker channel, breakers should unite and make a channel where they control, because they can control what they buy, who they buy it from, how much you pay for it, who they sell it to, their customers. They should have control. That's what they need to see. And breakers did this, I tried to do it a while ago, it just didn't happen. I'm not a fan of Whatnot, but I'm old. I don't think you're that old, Brandon. I'm just not a fan of Whatnot because, again, I don't get the model. To me, it's like going to a bar with your buddies and go, let's see who can pay the most for this beer. Why would we do that? Like, if anything, I think it created an opportunity for collusion. Like I even joked with Sports Card Radio. You could send all your people over to a Whatnot channel, go put like 100 people in the stream. And the guy's like, yeah, I got 100 people in here. He does the auction. Let's start at $1 and tell them all to do no bidding. And that name goes for $1. You could control that room. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like a flash sale. You could flash control one of those Whatnots. It's a bad platform. It's faulty in so many different ways, in my opinion. Good riddance, Whatnot. In fact, eBay isn't even doing very well with their streaming platform. Fanatics just recycling long-term Panini and other card companies' crappy employees. Yep. Oh my God, Charles T. Amen. Hell yeah. Not excited. These guys are still going ahead up the same. Dude, Charles, I just want to point out, this is not me saying this. I'm so glad to hear you say this. I really am, because that's what kills me about this industry. When you have been in this industry long enough, you realize, what? These guys all work together. They were all Donruss together, and then they went from Donruss to Panini together, and they all worked with Topps together, and they're all friends. They moved around, and there's no competition. They're not working against it. Like when you're competing, you want to beat the other guy's ass. When you're just going around jumping ship to ship, it's ridiculous. That's why I do think they should not, like, I don't want to say the wrong things on the non-compete, but I understand why the non-compete was filed, and I understand why the company did what they did. Why not get new innovation? It also shows me how lazy Fanatics was. Like, you really couldn't find people to take those jobs. Like, as big as this hobby is, think about this. You could do a contest and go, I'm looking for a new leader of blah, 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 blah. You could have freaking a contest of knuckleheads from this industry diving and dying to compete for that job. It could be a sports car. But again, I agree, Charles. We need innovation. We're not going to get innovation. We're going to get kabooms and downtowns now from Fanatics. They'll have different names. They'll be called Zabams and from Around the Hill. Instead of from downtown to be Around the Hill. Oh, it's terrible. Ooh, one of my favorite content creators, Cards and Comics. I have not watched your new video tonight yet, which was on the whales and the influence. But let me just say, anybody watching my video tonight, I do recommend you check out Cards and Comics. And he's got some great insights here. They should make breakers be bonded and carry minimum insurance. Again, I'm not against that. There's a lot of things you could do, but here's what I'll also say, because I have friends who are breakers. is that why? Like you cannot stop me if I wanted to go private underground into a Facebook group and have members only and vetted them break. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't have to have a bond. I wouldn't have to have a minimum. I can do anything I want to. You can't stop that from happening. You're always, here's a little interesting parallel. You can make shit illegal. It's always going to still be done. The best thing to do is how do you control and encourage the best behavior? How do you make a model, right? So my recommendation would be you have like a little breaker consortium. You reach out to the top breakers and invite other breakers to a consortium. And then you lay out a list of code of conduct or rules. And then you give a membership to the breakers. If these breakers work together, they can do things like do self promotions with each other, maybe share inventory together, maybe buy together as a group, right? So give the breakers a reason to work together, and then let them come together and provide a code of conduct and ethics. And you have to have non-breakers in that, right? Who are auditors, who are going to monitor the system, and then you can sell that to the community. Hey, this is our code of conduct. Here are the breakers in this group. Here's the way we're going to handle things. Here's how our pricing is. So, for example, when a new product came out, you go to any one of those breakers, and they're all going to be within the same amount of dollars, a few dollars apart on the cost, right? And not one of them's going to be highballing or lowballing the other guy. They're all going to have the same. If they find a guy scamming, they're all going to ban the scammer, right? And if one of them does something bad, that would be something that they could be, exiled or pushed out or whatever from the group. But you can do so much with that. It'd be such a great idea. And I'll tell you this, this is not a brand new idea. This happened before. Breaker Culture organized a bunch of reviews and feedback on breakers. And I want to say there's a Ripping Wax that banded like 4 or 5 different breakers together, and they're all part of the Ripping Wax breaker. And they use the same selling platform. In fact, at the time, Jaspy Breaks was part of that Ripping Wax. And now Jaspy is one of the bigger breakers. I mean, it just, to me, seems like there's so much that could be done. And those who don't want to do it don't have to, right? You're probably not going to get like Backyard Breaks to join your consortium. They can do their own thing. But you could, again, promote a community I think you could grow with. Oh, I enjoyed this conversation. I'm getting some content back here. I buy specific things on whatnot. Subcards. It's very easy. Hey, that's a good thing. I have not used it at all for buying. And I've not used it at all for selling, to be honest, either. I don't use it at all. But I can see how buying is still a very good thing. You get some good deals on Whatnot. I have used Whatnot as far as I've tried to be in contests. More or less, I'm monitoring people's content. Like I used to follow Lucas Snipers and Bronze on Whatnot. And I like the contest thing. That was fun. I never won anything, but I thought it was cool. I never put my address in there, I think, because I don't think I ever won. Never bought anything on Whatnot either. Yeah, it does. It does. So does this mean Panini takes least place in unlicensed card market? If this is true, yeah. But here's another thing it says. What does it say for like companies like Wildcard, right? And what's the one I ran into the other day? One Action or something like that, which is an NIL company doing Alabama. The reality is there's going to be a lot of unlicensed cards. And if you look at this, that Carl's Card guy, he does the 101 cards. There's a big market for custom cards and unlicensed stuff. So it's not the end for them if that's the case. And also this too, Panini has the license for the next few years. If I was Panini, I would print the shit out of everything. I mean, I would whore the hell out of everything. I really would. I mean, like you put me in a corner, I'm burning this bitch to the ground. Why not? And as much as I hate it, and I do hate it, those retro rookie shit they dropped with the goddamn Donruss Clearly crap with the retro rookies in that, I am disgusted by that product. But I understand. In fact, watching that happen, and I saw they did it with Luca a few years ago, it made me realize, guys, this is why sports cards are not an investment. They can print anything they want. I mean, they could tomorrow, okay, Fleer could start printing and maybe I'm wrong because maybe it's the Michael Jordan thing, but in theory, someone could start printing Michael Jordan 86 Fleer cards with the same fucking paper, same print, and they don't even have to really put reprint on it. There's no law that makes them put reprint on it, does it? I don't think there is. If they have the license to it, if they have the Michael Jordan license and the NBA license and the Bulls license, if they have the licenses, I think they print anything they want to print. That's free market. Crazy, isn't it? Oh, oddly enough, the Pro Set Bird cards are rare. They are rare. I would say that the product is over a certain amount, they need to have something to make sure they can pay off. The casino does not hit this. I love the idea of cards and companies, but again, you're not going to stop people from doing it, right? So, for example, if it all goes back to money, all right. If a guy gets a case of NT and he gets 5 friends together and he wants them to buy it, and they all trust him enough, you can't stop that little size stuff. What you can control is where if I get a case and I'm promoting it, hey man, come get my break, and then people who don't know you, the first question will be, well, are you a license breaker? Or do you have who are you behind? That would help in that direction. So you're right. I would like to see that if you're in that consortium, there's an insurance or maybe there's a money that's backing it up. That's a great idea. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Gotta say good evening, y'all. What's up, Tom? Welcome. Man, I was going to end this early. I appreciate everybody dropping by. Leaf still had Kobe Autos on stickers. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's really interesting. That probably came into play. Why doesn't Upper Deck have more Michael Jordan autographs out there, more LeBron autographs out there? I don't know. I don't understand. Well, guys, we're coming into the comments. I actually have got to get up tomorrow early. I would like to talk more. I got a lot to talk about, but I hopefully did a good job getting you to check out Hobby News Daily every day on Hobby News Daily YouTube. I have some more content coming on Ziggy Know later on, and always thank you for checking us out on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great night, guys. Thank you very much for stopping in.